Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar by OTech Pros, which happens every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We are pleased to present to you a very exciting topic, and we have here our four IT professionals that have a combined experience of over 90 years, and we have our regular contributor, Marty DeGarmo, in the house. So we're going to begin with a topic that was suggested by Mr. Ash Mufara. He is now guiding our group in topics, and we are glad to expound on these topics because we know they are relevant and there is a good reason for him suggesting these topics. So today's topic is domains and domain name registrar. And we're going to begin with Oliver Fonte, who is going to give us an overview.
Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today's topic, as Antilin just said, we will be talking about domain registrar and the host of millions and millions of domain names. This is big, and when you talk about the domain, let me just define a domain account, in a layman understanding. A domain is the home of the website or your website, your domain. A domain is where the website resides, your name, your address, like the CEO explained it also last night, that your address, if you want to do a business, where is your address? A domain is that address of their website, of your website, my website, our website, and our domain. So when we talk about the domain, we also have to talk about the DNS. And the DNS is responsible for translating domain names into specific IP address that initiate clients or customers load their requesting internet resources. So the DNS connect to the internet space, and your domain is what take you to the World Wide Web all over the world, that people will know who you are, people will recognize you, we will be known. The 1.3 plus customer will be known through the DNS and the internet, and that goes to the world. And your website will be running on that domain account. This is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. And our domain is also AI, artificial intelligence, is embedded into it. 100% automation and integration. That is the difference between ONPASSIVE domain and the other domain account. And it is an independent product also. It is an independent product. Now we have it. We, the founders, we have it. We own it. We own our business. We own our domain because we have that address that is our domain. When the website is running, targeted traffic comes to your domain. ONPASSIVE.com is running, driving targeted traffic, your domain. All the multiple products running through your website to your domain. So the domain is the machine of our business. And this is what we are talking about. This is what the CEO, those who were with us last night, heard what the CEO also came and expand our knowledge on it. This is massive. We are talking about one product here, one product, and we have it. We have that privilege to have our domain and our website running on it. You can have the best website on this world, but if you don't have a domain, then it's useless. So that's what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about. And since it comes also with its own with AI, it has a little bit of security in there. I'll leave Bob to talk on that, about the security. But I just want to say, like the CEO also confirmed yesterday that all the domain, that was one thing that he confirmed yesterday. I was like, wow. He said all the domain come with SSL, which is an upgrade for TLS. TLS, I'm sorry, I'm just mixing word. This is the encryption, securing the data from the web to your website and to your domain. It's encrypted. And SSL certificate is in all the domain, each and every domain. That was what the CEO told us last night. I was like, bam, he got it. So there's nothing that we should be scared about. The customers that are coming, there will be millions upon millions of customers coming to our domain. To our domain, the 1.3 plus million domain that we the founders, we are. The 1.3 million is we all have a domain account, and it all has that security. We cannot beat that. All the targeted traffic that will be going to all the multiples of products. We don't know the amount of products that we're going to have, because the way the things are, we cannot even count them anymore. We will not be able to count our product, the amount of products that will be running on our website, bringing all the targeted traffic that they will be hitting your domain account. They will be hitting our domain account. Then let me say this again. The host, we are going to be the host. We host. When you say we host, we have control. We have that control over our business. We should be proud of ourselves. We should be proud that our CEO, what he has done to us, and the business that we are in, like he told us the other day on Monday, that this is going to be the biggest thing that has ever happened in our life. It is true. It is true. I've been a 9 to 5. We the Tech Pro here, we've all been a 9 to 5. But today, we are going to be a business. We are going to be business, but not any kind of a business founders. We own a domain account. A domain account is huge. Without a domain, as a businessman, you want to talk about business, you have to talk about your domain. And the cost to pay, the cost just for us to build a website, like I said, this is between $3,000 to $4,000. It depends on the content of your website. But today we have OD. These are independent products also that you can just look and build your own website. And once we're on your domain, you must have a domain. But these are things that if you want to go and pay somebody to do your website for you, you pay between that $3,000, $4,000. If you want to go cheap website, it might take you $1,000. It depends the content also. It depends the content. But a good website, but it will not even be what we have, like our link number 51. Look at the brightness of link number 51. Look at the pictures. Look at the speed. Look at the speed. That's our domain. That's our domain account. Then the hosting again. We host. People who come and buy, the resellers that are coming are going to have also a domain account. Our domain customers getting bigger and bigger, millions upon millions. That your domain, that our domain will contain millions upon millions upon millions of customers when they're coming in. If you want to look at the biggest domain provider today, each of our account, each of our domain account will have millions upon millions, more than them. We are 1.3 million founders. Each of those, our account, each, remember that we have multiple products running on that website. Multiple products running on that website. That goes to where? That domain. So think if you have more than 5, accounts, independent account with 5 independent domain running with all the hundreds of products that will be running on it, on that your domain, the customer that are coming, targeted traffic coming on that independent domain, and there are millions and millions of customers on that domain. Tell me. That's why when the CEO told us on Monday and left us with the word, and he repeated it yesterday, ONPASSIVE air. The domain is that magic that will bring you that ONPASSIVE air. Because you are going to have millions upon millions of domain names running on your domain. I don't want to talk much, but let me give one other last thing. And that is the search engine optimization also. That's another powerful thing that it will drop also targeted traffic to our domain. We know the other provider they do have, but our search engine, it will be sweet. It was going to collect everything on the internet space and drop it on your domain. Because our search engine is, and our domain is AI. embedded. It's AI embedded. All the ONPASSIVE products run traffic on targeted traffic, not only any kind of traffic, targeted traffic. Drop it on where? Your domain. Angeline, let me leave it there. Please. Thank you.
That was mind-blowing, and that was just an introduction. Can you believe it? I mean, just that alone blew my mind. Awesome. So awesome. I love it. Okay, now we're going to have Vincent take the floor, and he's going to be talking about the benefits of domains. So take it away, Vincent.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Auntie Lynn. And thank you, my brother, Oliver. It's a mind blow. Oliver blew our mind already before we start getting to the, the domain. So thank you, brother Oliver. Thank you for the good job. So today I will also talk about the advantage of domain name. I know my brother Oliver mentioned a lot of things. So I'm going to talk about a few aspects because he have already said a lot about domain, but domain is a lot to know. So if we start now, we can carry on until tomorrow morning. We'll not finish talking about the domain. It's a lot. So I will go to some maybe key aspect of the benefits of the domain. So we know that a domain add credibility to your business. So let's say you have a business, and then if you want your business to look professional, you want people, your customer outside there to say, oh, this business is good. We want to go to this man website. We want to get more information from the website. You need a good domain name. So that domain name can add credibility to your business. So you look professional when you have a domain name. So this is one good advantage of having a domain name. The second thing also, the domain name, let's say establish a brand, the brand image. So if you have a good domain name, because a domain name, when you put your domain name in the URL, is improve also the brand image. So this is also when then your customer will perceive like, oh, this is a company, this is a technologically update the emerging brand. So this is also one of the advantage to having a domain name. And then we go to a fewer, to go another one can allow viewers or avoid errors. So a domain, you need to have a simple domain name. Don't take a very long name. And then the long name can also bring some mistake to your customers. When they are typing, you can have mistake, and that will be difficult to get your name. So having your domain name, always think about having something very simple. Yeah, so very simple, and then it can allow your customers to avoid also mistake, errors, mistyping. When it's long, by means you get some errors, typing always your name and get into your website. So make it very simple, and then so that it avoid anything mistyping in the URL. So this is also one of the advantage to have a very simple name. And then we go to the free work in traffic. So free work in the traffic is like, what this means is that it increase also the visibility of your company. So doing that increase your visibility so people can see your website, people can go to your domain, and then they can find out the information from your. So this also help you or help your website to have a ranking with SEO perspective. So yesterday I said it, and someone asked a question about that. So having the domain help also to having a good ranking. So when you do the search engine optimization, is all this, we can't have it without the domain name. So the domain name help for that as well, for having better ranking in the SEO. So this is also one of the advantage to have a domain name, and also easy mobility of your domain. So the mobility of your domain, like if you have a company in the UK here, you can also prefer, or you want to move your company to the US, it will not have any problem. So the domain allow also to have a mobility. You can move from any country to another, any continent to another without any issues when you have a good domain name. And then the domain give you also all this possibility to move around, and then also allow also your customers to remember your name. So this is the one of the key points to having the domain name. So good possibility to move around, mobility of your domain anywhere, on the internet. So one also, to summarize the most of the advantage of the domain name, we need a domain reach your target. So you use the domain to reach your target. So the domain will help you to get the target of your customer. If you want to target maybe a million customers, so the domain will help you target those million customers. So that's why I say reach your target market. So the domain will facilitate that. Domain also maintain your brand ownership. So if you have your brand, is the domain will help you to maintain your ownership of your brand. So according to your domain, you can maintain also your ownership. So the domain also help you to be memorable. So the domain gets you easy by customers, because if you want to type the IP address of your company, you will know that it will be difficult, like digit number 22, 25, 10 will be difficult. But with the domain name, it will be easy for your customers to memorize your domain name. So the domain also help to build online presence. So if you want to be presence on the line, like internet world, today we do everything over the internet, the business, e-commerce, everything is on the internet. So if you want to have a huge presence on the internet, like all big companies in the world today, you need to have a domain name. Without a domain name, you cannot build online presence. We also, if you want to set, the domain also help to set expectation. So without a domain, you cannot set expectation for your business. So domain allow you to get your set, because I want to set maybe million people this area. So the domain will allow you to do that as well. The domain also develop credibility for your business. Without the domain, you cannot develop a credibility of your business, because when they see your domain, the domain name also give you a credibility. So the domain also boosts, and also your SEO, your search engine optimization. So this is a boost by the domain. So without the domain, you cannot boost that. And then the domain also give you a grow and then expand your business. So the domain help you to develop your business further, because with your domain, you can use all this business. So the domain also complete with the other business. So with your domain, it can allow you to complete your business with other business, because you use your domain, you can link your domain to other domains or other business or other company. So in few words, this is the advantage of having a domain in your business. So it's a very important part of having a business. You need a domain name. So thank you, Antiline. I'll stop there and then give opportunity to my brother Bob to say something about the security, very important aspect of the domain as well.
Thank you very much, Vincent. As you all can see, there are significant and many advantages to having a domain. Next, we will have Bob Takusi. His field is security, so he is the best person to talk about the security aspects of domains. Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, Angeline, good morning, my dear colleagues. Morning, Uncle Marty, and founders worldwide. It's good to see you. I'm speaking to you from Bel Air, Maryland. So, Brother Oliver and Brother Vincent, you guys nailed it already. Oliver actually covered everything, but I just want to highlight what this means. You know, let us remember that each and every one of us, each founding position, each one is equivalent to multiple corporations, more than 50 actually. Each founding position has several products, right? Multiple products. And each of these products is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, as we know it. And one of those products is called O-Domain. O-Domain is our own domain registrar, like Oliver brilliantly described. So I just wanted to highlight that so that we understand the magnitude of what Mr. Ash Mufara is doing for us. He already explained to us what the domain is and everything. So I'll just dive straight to the security aspect of our domains, or our own O-Domains. Number one, I'll back to our SSS slogan. The way our systems are built, We know that they are superior, we know that they are sophisticated, and we know that they are secure, right? And we know that artificial intelligence is at the underlying layer of our infrastructure in every product. Guess what happens with all domains as well from a security perspective? From a security perspective, security is also embedded inside, because AI, artificial intelligence, comes with her default security detection capability. That is what AI is good at. It detects. So our domain, our own domain, is going to constantly be monitored for any irregularities. Now, the question is with us at ONPASSIVE, our own domain, how do we respond to this? And I know very well that our CEO is on top of the game, you know. So just remember, AI-driven, security embedded, constantly we are good with from that perspective. The other security measure that I would like to talk about is continuous monitoring, constant monitoring. We are consistently monitoring our domains at all times. Brother Oliver talked about the DNS server. That is a very critical component of our domain, because what actually is happening in the real world is when you create your domain or you go to that domain, say www.bob.com or onpassive.com, the computer does not understand words, it understands numbers. So the DNS server is the guy that translates that entry that you've put into the IP address and directs it to the server that you want to go to. So this DNS server is constantly being threatened by hackers and scammers worldwide. So they're constantly trying to hit that server to bring it down. We have what they call the denial of service, DOS attacks, or distributed or DDoS attack, where people create botnets, fictitious like login, like attempts to access a website. You send millions and millions of those kinds of requests to the server. It's going to bring it down. It's going to knock it down. So when you constantly monitor your domain, you will catch things like that. When you look at your threat landscape, you look at your monitoring will tell you when something abnormal is happening, so that you can, begin your response to fend off these kinds of attacks. Our CEO also talked about the SSL certificates, Secure Socket Layer certificates. Yes, that we have it on each of these domains. This is another security measure. What this does is the SSL certificates actually authenticates this website, the source where this information is coming from, to authenticate it, to make sure that they are valid, right? They are valid. And then it enables an encryption connection. When that happens, then now there's another protocol which Oliver also referenced, the TLS, they say transport layer security. That is the layer, that the protocol that begins the communication, the encrypted communication from both sides. So we have secured socket layer, we have SSL certificates that guarantees that this website is secure, and then even the communication that is going back and forth is also encrypted, it's also secure. Of course, the monitoring also gives us an idea of our threat landscape. So we can see at any moment if there's any abnormalities, we can tell, because we are constantly monitoring our domains at all times. That's one thing that is ongoing 24/7, so that we can tell if there's anything that is abnormal, it's not normal within our domain, and then we would respond accordingly. The other security component or feature that I want to talk about is what we call an automatic takedown capability. I'm very pleased to say this because 3 weeks ago, about maybe a month ago, when Mr. Ash spoke with us, he told us that, if you guys remember, I'm sure you do, he told us that we have the capability to take down this all this YouTube nonsense that people are making online, destroying our image and stuff like that. He said that, excuse me, he said that we have the capability to take them down. When he said that, it dawned on me that, oh yes, okay, this is what Mr. Ash is saying. We have this automatic takedown capability that we can bring down all these malicious websites that are, you know, destroying our image and our reputation out there. Here's what is actually happening in the real world and which I predict is going to happen to us. Most of these scammers and hackers that are out there, they go out and they copy websites, right? Brand websites, they copy these websites, but what they do is they will create like a typo. Like for ONPASSIVE, for instance, what is going to happen to us, I guarantee you, some scammers or hackers are going to create kind of a clone of an ONPASSIVE website. Instead of onpassive.com, ONPASSIVE, they will say ONPAS1SVE, onpassive.com. And then they start coming after us, they start phishing us, the founders, and even some customers to get information. We get that all the time from, I get that all the time from PayPal, from Amazon, you know, those kinds of messages. They are called typo squat domains. Those domains are out there just to fool people, and then they'll scam you and stuff like that. But with automatic takedown capabilities, we can monitor and take down these websites instantly. So that's one good security measure component of our domains that Mr. Ash, I know, has already implemented and is in, because he told us last week that we have that capability. And then we also have something called threat intelligence dashboard. We collect all this intelligence, we collect information that is out there so that our branding team, our fraud detection team, our security teams, they can collaborate. They can collaborate to go after these people. Like we know right now that our legal team is actually working on, you know, several issues, taking care of several issues, people that are out there, you know, disseminating false information. So a tool like this, like a threat intelligence dashboard, helps us. It brings everything together for them to collaborate and see what's going on. I know that Mr. Ash told us on Monday that we have there's a new custom tool. When he was talking about it, I was thinking about the threat intelligence dashboard, but it looks like it is something even new and better, something revolutionary, an AI-driven utility that also keeps track of everything. It's like a crawler on the internet space, and it captures every information about what is going on, what is being written about us, and they have a ranking of, you know, what is false and things like that, and then they put it all together. So companies can use that maybe to go after those who have malicious intent and destroy their reputations and things like that. So that is a very good thing. That's a very good product. We don't know much about it, but I think it's something that is also going to help and could fall within this threat intelligence dashboard domain security area. Having said that, when we look at the question at hand, what does it really mean for you to be your own domain registrar and host millions and millions of domain names? What does that mean? That tells me that that is who we are. Based on what I said earlier, we have our own domain. That's a domain registrar. That is who we are. That also tells us that, like what Mr. Ash said yesterday, because the first task, the first thing that we are going to do as founders when we get into ONPASSIVE, to activate ourselves, to activate our accounts, we are going to select or create our own domain, right? That is the first task. But what Mr. Ash has done is he has actually given us a tremendous amount of savings, because we could have had to ask us to maybe go to one of these other GoDaddy or these other domain service providers and create one. But he has saved us millions and millions of dollars instantly because of his love for us, right? But this also gives us the availability, our location, because your domain is your location, it says yesterday. Location, location, location is the key. Their location, and it is also like our own digital property. It is yours. That is who we are, right? It's your location and your digital property. That's what Mr. Ash gives us. And then, like Oliver said, traffic, traffic, traffic. He is sending traffic to this domain that has all our products, all the products of ONPASSIVE, and also we are selling the domains to other customers worldwide. Millions and millions of customers are going to come in and purchase their domain or get their domain registration from us because we are satisfied. Like Matty told us yesterday, yes, there's an organization that actually gives us the credibility to be able to be a domain registrar at the ICANN. I think it's internet customer something numbers, and there's an ICANN, there's an organization that actually accredits us, that gives us the accreditation. So millions and millions of customers are also going to flock to get their domain registration from us, from ONPASSIVE or domain. What does that mean? It means that we are also going to earn more revenue, more money. Our bottom line is also going to be good. And then we know that our founder, Ash Mufara, is a master marketer. What do you think he's going to do with this massive data, this massive information? Marketing. He's going to market to them. He's going to expose all our products to these domains. So I'm going to thank you, and I'm going to leave it there. Until back to you.
That was fabulous. It gives me a greater understanding of the security aspects of all of our products, including ODomain and our registrar, domain name registrar. And I think that Marty will chime in at the end about the marketing aspects of this product that we have. And it's amazing. It's just, as we say, mind-blowing. Thank you very much. Now we go to Collins Mana, who is going to give us a wrap-up and a conclusion and all the remarks that he wants to make. Take it away, Collins.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, Oliver, well done. Yeah, you've just give an overview of what domain means. And Vincent, yeah, you just gave the importance of domain. Bob, well done. You've just said everything. You just take it from my mouth because it's like there is nothing to say anymore. We know domain is really massive. It is massive, massive. It's a massive business because if you look at all the other domain providers out there, they are making billions upon billions of dollars. And we are coming as, a player in that field with just one product or domain. This is mind-blowing. And as Oliver said, it's built with artificial intelligence, everything automated, done for you, security-wise, encrypted, well secured. There's just nothing we can compare to when it comes to ONPASSIVE because it's the latest and the latest technology which domain is being built, all integrated in one stop shop. Like Bob said, that question, what does it mean for you to be a domain registrar that will host millions and millions of domain names? That is something unheard of. When you look at it, you own a domain, they build your website because normally, as Oliver said, a website resides on a domain. Without domain, your website will never exist. Nobody will ever see you in the market. So you need that domain to host your website where IP address is connected and give you to the internet space, give you that visibility. Now, we are talking as a founder, 1.3 million founders, right? We are 1.3 million founders. 1.3 million websites will be in the internet space. Those 1.3 million that 1.3 million website running in the internet space will contain what? Thousands of products, because I don't like to hear 50, because ONPASSIVE is an IT company and they'll continue to build product. So we have thousands of products, that will reside on that website. And one of the products is ODomain. Look at ODomain. There are targeted traffic that will come, customers coming. So what will it mean that 1 million customers landing on Lean site, 1 million customers going to RabUp, 1 million or more, millions going only for domain, targeted customers going for domain. You know, we are talking about 1.3 million, maybe by the time we found a position shut down will be 1.4. But imagine millions upon millions hitting each and every founding position, all the domains. That is mind-blowing. Millions upon millions coming for one product. And we talk about what? This information is hosted where? In our data center. Because they come with data. When they come, they purchase, this is raw data. We have data center. When they come, what would they say? My goodness, they have data center. Can we come in for your data center? Can we come in for this? They'll be looking at each of these products, but we are talking about domain, which is the key. You know, our CEO said it yesterday and even mentioned that this data, you know, when they come, that's millions and millions or billions of data. We have the data center to host them. You know, this is something that, you know, if you think about it, I said, give me only domain, Mr. Ash Mufara, nothing else. And I'll be a big player in the field because that's a company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a company. You don't need the rest. It's just that founders, when they come, they look at ONPASSIVE. But when you step out, look at the product. Each product is a company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. So all this product will be running on your domain, and customers, targeted customers will come in looking for each product. One of the products is all domain. And it's running on 1.3 or 1.4 million website, millions upon millions coming. So it's just something that is unheard of. But I just want to leave it there and throw it back to Auntie Lynn because there is just nothing to, these guys have just blown it up. But again, let's think about it. We know that product is massive. So thank you, Auntie Lynn.
Thank you. I think we all realize the magnitude of the product, but knowing that this is just one product of many, and that's what just is incredible to me. So at this time, what we want to do is bring in Marty DeGarmo, who is going to respond to what we shared today. And he always is full of ideas and excitement. Go ahead, Marty.
Thank you, Lynn. Thanks, guys. I'm going to be stepping on all your toes because I can't think of that much by myself. So, yeah, let me kind of bring people focused on how I see it. Okay, there's a company out there called ICANN. Okay, it's a corporation for assigning names and numbers. You have two languages. First language is human language. The second language is internet language. Because you hear words like URL. URL is Universal Resource Locator, okay? It's an address. It's not an address like a physical address like you have on your street, but it is an address on the internet. Now, you don't want to tell somebody your URL or you don't want to tell them your IP address. It's like 10, 15 numbers. Nobody's going to remember that. So what you do is you go pick a domain that you want. If it's available, you can have it. And ICANN, because they run domains and the numbers, they run the language of computer and they run the language of humans. They mate the two. So now martydegarmo.com is my website. It is my universal resource locator. It's saying to the human, martydegarmo.com. Everybody gets it. It's the computer's telling another computer on the rest of the internet, 174.674-4532, whatever, internet language. So it keeps humans user friendly. That's exactly what it does. Okay. So as you're going down, let me make sure I got this. Okay. The IP address, okay, could be thousands and thousands of different combinations. What it really is, it's your thumbprint from your device, okay? But when you assign it a domain, it's the same thing. When they see your domain, you don't see the IP address, but the computer does. And the internet's reading that IP address. Oh, this is from martydegarmo.com or whoever's domain it is. Now, picture this. Domains, there's some people that buy domains, hold them, and sell them and make a living doing it. That's the power of domains because they will increase in value. It's the same as if you bought land. You ever notice McDonald's when they do a franchise? They always buy the land. Always. Because they know that the land will go up in value 99% of the time. So it just makes sense. Now the ICANN Corporation is totally nonprofit because if it wasn't, it would be pretty crazy, right? But you rent a domain. You could do it for a year, 2 years, I think even 5 years. And there is a way to get it lifetime, but I'm not exactly sure how that works. But the power of it, think of this. If the company gives us all one website, okay, that's 1.3 million websites. But the company's going to give us all one a day for 365 days. Okay, 365 days, 365 websites times 1 million is 365 million. If you have 50 products, that's 18,250,000. Now, I don't know how all that's going to work, but think of the power of ONPASSIVE as it spreads across the internet. I mean, just engulfs the world. Okay, for one thing, let's say MartyDeGrama.com, I paid $11 for it. But as it builds in SEO and builds in strength and builds in people knowing what it is, the value increases. So not only are you making money from your domain, the value of it, like land, but you're making money because with ONPASSIVE, every time they sell a domain to someone, and let's forget about the 1.3 million that we are, let's look at maybe one day 1 billion customers buying domains, and we get a small commission from each one that winds up on our team. That's right, go dunk your head in water. It's a big, big deal. Big, big deal. And the more you look at it, everything with ONPASSIVE, every time you look at it and you really start to dissect it, you go, oh my God, this is so much bigger than I thought. But you're only talking about one product. So you move to the next one and you look at it face value and go, oh man, that's pretty cool. But when you break it down, it's not pretty cool. It's mind-blowing by itself. Running a domain registrar for anyone, any company, is life-changing. It's life-changing. But because we own part of the company, we are owners or founders, it changes the game. It changes the game completely because now anybody that buys one in your team, they have to renew every year or every 2 years. That's called, believe it or not, that's called residual income. That's called one stream though. We have Niagara Falls stream, right? We're going to have, we know, at least 50 digital products, at least. But Ash will never stop. We know him well enough, he won't stop. Physical products, I don't know what we're going to have. Dozens is what I heard. Dozens. They're all streams of income, all of them. Now, what happens is when you send yours out, the link to all of this, the link to every bit of this is traffic, right? So we know, I don't care how nice your domain is. I don't care if you spent $500 on a web page. You got the best domain, easymoneymaking.com. You are set for life. If you don't have traffic, you're dead. You have nothing. You have an internet full of nothing. But because of ONPASSIVE, it's going to drive the traffic. Oh my gosh, right? If you look at the value and everything we're doing, and you break down one product after another, after another, after another, and then you say, okay, now they're going to market for me. Let me tell you what, you don't have to know the language. You know what the answer is, right? We all know what the answer is. And I know a lot of people get nervous. Oh, what about, I don't need to know. You don't need to know. I want to know because I'm thinking this makes me more excited. The more I know, the more excited I am of what I have. Yeah, you can sit back and say, yeah, this is great. Trust me, if you just look a little bit, peel just one layer of the onion, you'll dig that pig all the way to the core, because it'll be enough for you to go, oh, I want to know more. And every product has that depth. Every product in ONPASSIVE has that depth. So when you do a domain, remember, you're talking to humans. The IP's hooked to it, the thumbprint's hooked to it, and it goes all over the internet. And what happens is while they're driving traffic to your website, you rank higher and higher in SEO, which means you move up in Google or any search engine organically. You're not paying for it. If you're the third one on the list on page 1, you're a multimillionaire. I don't care what product it is. If you're number 3 on the first page of Google, whatever's being looked up, my opinion, slash my opinion, because I don't want anybody said, the company said, no, Marty said, you're a millionaire. Now I want you to take 50 of them and then add another 50 and then add 50, 50, 50 more. Do the math. Everybody's focused on money. You don't have to focus on money. Focus on the ingredients. Ingredients, domain, unlimited. People coming in, billion people buying domains. You get a little sliver of pie. This goes on with every product. And you can't do anything without a domain. You're dead. And you definitely can't do anything without traffic. You have a domain, it says who you are. You have traffic, it makes people come see you. The more people come see you, the more people come see you. Because once you're ranked high, you get organic traffic. The guy looking for a web-based conference room. You're number 3 on that list in Google, conference room, you're a multimillionaire, flat out. Any product that you do. And because the company's doing all the work for us, now picture this, I'm adding more stuff, I can't help it. You have a website and we're the hunted, and some big company says, Marty, do you mind if we put a little square on the bottom left-hand side of your page advertising something we want? We'll give you a few pennies. Yeah. Why? You're a multimillionaire. It's all streams of income. The very wealthy people in the United States have many streams of income. Hundreds, I don't know about that. We will. Thousands, we will. So do the math. Just do the equation. What does it equal? Don't say what the answer is. It doesn't matter what the answer is. You add all this stuff up, and the answer is damn. Okay? That's the answer to it. Damn. So don't worry about numbers. Don't worry, is it going to happen? It's going to happen whether you like it or not. But if you enjoy it, rip open that onion and start seeing what you have. I don't want to make anybody do it. I don't care. I wasn't thinking a lot about domains. Asked me before, I said, have the tech guys look at these 3 things. So we started with domains. And I started looking. And there I am. I'm like a 12-year-old kid. Holy cow, oh my God, it does that. And you just keep going and going and going. It happened to everybody here. It'll happen to you. This has nothing to do with technology, really. It's just you opening up the page and reading a couple pages. It'll make you finish the book. And the book is ONPASSIVE, and it's a bestseller. Anyway, that's all I got.
Could I ask you a couple of things, Marty, before you go? One of them is about compounding. You know, Ash Mufareh talked about compounded marketing. And we talk about compounding in terms of the growth of our customer bases, because each of us will have our own customer base. And would you talk about that a bit? Because it's very, very powerful.
I think everything with ONPASSIVE has to do with compounding. Everything. From compound marketing, which Mr. Mufareh is doing. We know that. We have proof of that, because he doesn't stop one thing and start something else. He just piles right on top of what he's already doing. ONPASSIVE for a founder and a reseller who aren't even in yet, you start your business, you bring people in, you bring more people in. Now they start sharing it organically. They're not getting paid from you to do it. It's called word of mouth. Word of mouth is powerful. Go see a good movie. Everybody tells everybody else. Same thing in ONPASSIVE. You're going to get the paid traffic. You're going to get the organic traffic. Then you're going to get viral. And I think we're going to have all that. That's compounding. Your efforts right now of you building the business and maybe you brought in 10 people, compounded in a year's time, where does that put you? Where does that put you in 5 years? I know you probably got your calculator and you're trying to figure, guess what? You're wrong. So stop. It'll be bigger and bigger than you could imagine. So, and listen, the more you try to know, I'm not saying you have to know, the more when people come and you answer one simple question, whatever it is, if you can answer the question, you have another person on your team. And that spreads also. You know how? Hey, I was talking to this fat guy from New Jersey. He sounds like he knows what he means. Call me fat. But everybody will share that. Oliver and Collins, they know. They know something. People are attracted to people that have an idea, that they're in it. And in fact, excitement sells. I brought many people in through my excitement. They go, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I want some of that, right? It's like a drug. I want whatever he's taking. I don't know what he's saying, but they don't care. They'll find out later. They just don't want to miss the boat. This goes on in compounding everything we do. ONPASSIVE should be passive compounding. It should all be one word. Compounding, leveraging, it's everything you could imagine. Ash doesn't do one thing and get one response. Ash does many things and gets thousands of responses. That's compounding. That's leveraging. When you throw a rock on a river, you want it to skip as many times as you can. If it skipped once, you'd be upset. You get the pig to skip 5 times and you go, wow, that's pretty cool. But it's you only threw it once. Now Ash does the compounding and keeps throwing. And we have domains and it keeps growing, and we have all these tools and they keep growing. We have technology that never ends. We're never satisfied. We keep growing and growing and growing. Add that up. That's the best way I can explain compounding. We are in the middle of a compounding mammoth company. Compounding everything ONPASSIVE touches, they compound it for the better, for the better, for the better, for the better. And all you got to do is hold on tight. Fasten your seatbelt, because that's what we're part of. It really is. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you. I think you added a lot to the discussion by talking about leveraging and compounding. And I wondered if Bob could talk about how ONPASSIVE is different in terms of its philosophy. We're not profit driven. And I think that makes ONPASSIVE special, in addition to the products and the system. Would you say a few words about that, about Ash and the company, please?
Sure. You know, Ash Mufare is someone who comes into the scene. Unlike all these other companies, if you look at a company like Facebook, you look at Amazon, you know, they struggled when they came into the limelight. They were, you know, starting off from a garage or from a dormitory in Harvard and stuff like that. But you see, Ash Mufara comes in with a clear picture, with a clear vision of what he wants to do. He's already somebody who is well established, he's well off. So the one key driver that is different from him and all these other people is that he's well off. So he's not driven by that greed of profit. You know, he's not driven by that greed to want to make millions and millions of dollars. He's driven by the love for people and the product that is delivering to us. So ONPASSIVE is the first company that is coming out of the gate and is a customer-oriented company. We are focused on making sure that the customer gets the maximum satisfaction from our product that we are delivering, rather than profit-driven. And he's also sharing everything that most of, I believe at one point he had made a declaration that I think a big chunk of the profit of this company is going to go back to us, the founders. So the philosophy behind Ash Mufara is not driven by money, by the ego of himself. No, it's for the people. It's for the people. And you see that even the way he introduced ONPASSIVE to the world a couple of months ago in Boston, when he came out with the Oblast, trying to inject that in our consciousness, that this is all about the people, giving value to the people. Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted people to get a big picture of what ONPASSIVE is and its strengths. And I believe its strengths is Ash Mufara himself and his philosophy, his thinking, and his heart. And that really, to me, makes ONPASSIVE unique. In addition to the great products, the great automation, the AI, it's a huge paradigm shift that we're in, and makes us different from every other company on earth. And I'm so proud to be part of ONPASSIVE. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm following Brother Tony Monk. Tony Monk is online. I'm following his discussion. He's very excited. And he just said something. He said he's been online for, hi Tony, by the way. He's been online. I read something he wrote. He's been online for about 25 years. He's never seen something like this. It is true. There's nothing like this ever. This man is about to rewrite everything that we know about business and marketing, everything, because of his heart. It is coming from the bottom of his heart, from his soul, from the depth of his soul. It's all about uplifting, So, I mean, this is a totally unique thing that is coming. The avalanche or the juggernaut or whatever one call it. It's something that the world has never seen, and is driven by the simplicity of the man, the humility of the man. Money is not, what drives him. It's people uplifting. So that makes it different. And then the product, our product, ONPASSIVE products. I hope we really have time to really put the products alongside each other and talk more about them. But ONPASSIVE products are outstanding. That's something that even those of us who are in the industry, from the little that we know that we're just going to turn everything upside down in a good way. And then the price, it's mind-boggling.
Very, very. So today, we're going to wrap it up right now. We're out of time. However, we want to let you know that this webinar that you're on today, it is weekly. It's every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we hope that you'll come back. Next week, we will have another topic, and it will be a topic that has been suggested to us by Ash Mufara himself. And as we get closer to where we all want to be, there is huge momentum. So believe me, the topics that we are covering are being covered for a reason. Ash Mufara has a logic for asking us to discuss these topics. So please don't miss it. Come back next Saturday for OTech Pros. Today we have the Kenya webinar, which is going to start in about 20 minutes. It starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. It's every Saturday. And guess what the topic is? The topic is domains and ONPASSIVE, the domain name registrar. And we're going to have some of our OTech pros there today. So hop on over as we conclude. It's posted in the back office. Please join us because you'll hear more information. It'll help you understand this topic further. The more you listen, the more you learn. Tonight, we have the Papua New Guinea webinar. It is an outstanding webinar that I never miss. It is going to be great. So join us. That will be posted in the back office as well. And then tomorrow, we have the Heroes webinar, Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And the topic is going to be the product called ODomain. And this has to do with domain names, as we talked about today. So please join us on these other webinars. We thank you. We want to thank Marty for his contribution. He always fires us up And thank you to the 4 tech pros here today who diligently and consistently show up, do the research on their topics, and present so aptly. So we want to say bye-bye to you for now, and thank you again for attending. We had great attendance, about, I think, 150 people attended today. You can catch the live stream recording on YouTube on multiple channels. So share the recording. Thank you again. Come back and see us next week, Saturday. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.